this is how to crochet a present. I wanted to get this out way sooner, but it took a little longer. These are super quick and easy to make. You only need to count stitches for the first 5 or 6 rows or until your present's the size you're looking for. You can open it up, and the best part is if you crochet tight, yours are probably going to be better than everybody else's. To get started, we are going to make a magic ring. This is a little bit of a different way to make a magic ring if you want to give it a shot. We are going to wrap it around the top of the middle and index finger, and then one time around the index finger. Then we're going to take our hook, insert it underneath and then over the yarn, pull it through, twist the hook so that it's facing up, and then grab the yarn that's coming off the index finger, pull it through for a chain 1, and that's the magic ring. I'll see you in part 2. For round 2, we are going to add 8 single crochet into the center of the ring. Now, if you don't like the magic ring method, you can absolutely use the chain 2 method, where you chain 2 and then you add all of your single crochet into the first chain, working around the slip knot. But if you are using the magic ring method, I definitely recommend using your left middle finger and thumb to hold everything in place. I like to use those 2 fingers all the time because they guide my work, and they actually do a little bit more work than the hook in my opinion. But in this case, I always pinch the bottom of the stitch, and that helps me keep the stitch sizes even, and it also helps keep everything from twisting, if that makes sense. After the last single crochet, we're going to pull on the short end to close our circle, but don't pull it too tight. If you do, you might have a hard time working into the first stitch of round 2, so we're going to just leave a little bit of a gap and then pull it tight later. For row 2, we are going to add 3 single crochet into the very first stitch. Those 3 single crochet are also going to indicate our very first corner, and we're also going to add a stitch marker to the very first stitch of those 3. And it never fails. Every single time I use a stitch marker, I get comments about what it is and what it's used for. I'm just going to go ahead and anticipate those questions. A stitch marker is used to, in this case, indicate the first stitch of the round, and it helps me keep stitch counts. That way I can just focus on one round at a time. After those 3 single crochet, I'm going to add 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then I'm going to add 3 single crochet into the stitch after that. So essentially the repeat for this round is going to be 3 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next, and then 3 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the one after that, 3 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the one after that, and then for the 4th corner it is going to be 3 single crochet and then 1 single crochet after that. To help you make sense of it, each set of 3 single crochet is a corner, and each single crochet is a side. You should also see your work square off just a little bit. If it's not, it could be that your stitches aren't tight enough. And I just realized I never went over what hook size to use. Okay, so you want to use a crochet hook that is at least 1 to 2 sizes smaller. And that's to keep your stitches tight. The tighter the better. If it's a little looser, it's going to be a little bit more rounded, and it's not going to have defined corners like you want for your box. At the end of row 2, we are just going to pull the string tight, and I'll see you in row 3. For row 3, we are going to add 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then I'm going to put my stitch marker right back into place. And then we are going to put 3 single crochet into the next stitch. Now this next stitch should be the 2nd stitch of the previous 3 single crochet, and that is to keep our corners stacked on top of each other. After the 3rd single crochet, we are going to put 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Now, if you're wondering how those stitch counts came to be, think of it this way. So when you have 3 single crochet in one stitch, the one in the middle, the 2nd one, is what makes it a corner. The other 2 are the first and last stitch of the side. So since we had 1 single crochet for our side earlier, we added 1 at the beginning and one at the end. So that's how it comes from 1 to 3 single crochet for the sides. I'm really not trying to make this more complicated than what it is. Essentially, it's 1 single crochet and then 3 single crochet into the next, 1 single crochet into the next 3, then 3 single crochet for the second corner, then 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches for the second side, then 3 single crochet into 1 stitch for the third corner, and then 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches for the third side, 3 single crochet into 1 stitch for the fourth corner, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches to finish the round. At the end of this round, you should have 4 distinct corners, and I do want to point out that it is normal for the side with the stitch marker to appear larger, and that is simply because we are working in a spiral method where we are not finishing our rounds. For row 4, I'm going to take my stitch marker out and then add a single crochet for my first stitch, and then I'm going to put my stitch marker back to indicate the beginning of the round. After that stitch, I'm going to add another single crochet into the next stitch. So the beginning of this is going to be 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then I'm going to put 3 single crochet into the third stitch. So essentially I'm squeezing 3 single crochet into a spot where I would normally only put 1. And then I'm going to put 1 stitch into each of the next 5 stitches. So that was 1, and then I'm going to put 1 into the next one, 2, 1 into the next one, 3, 1 into the next one, 4, and then the 5th into the next one, 5. Now this is my first side. Then when I look at my 3 single crochet, I'm going to make sure that the next stitch is the center of the previous 3 single crochet. And I'm going to squeeze 3 single crochet all into that same stitch. Then I'm going to add 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm going to put 3 single crochet all into the same stitch. So 1 and 2 and 3. This is going to be my third corner. And from there, I'm going to put 1 single crochet into each of the next 5. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 into the next stitch, and this is going to be my fourth corner. So 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And that's the end of row 4. If you enjoy these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow, and I'll see you for row 5. For row 5, I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and then I'm going to add my first single crochet, and then I'm going to put my stitch marker right back to indicate the first stitch of the round. After that, I'm going to put 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So this is 1, and then this one is 2. Then we're going to put 3 single crochet all into the next stitch. So they're all going to be squeezed right on in there. So that's 1, 2, and 3. For the first side, I'm going to add 1 single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we're just going to repeat that for all 4 sides. So it's going to be 3 single crochet and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. Now this is going to be the last round of increasing like this. If you wanted to make your present bigger or your gift box, you would simply keep on with the same concept where the 3 single crochet are always in the middle stitch of the previous 3 single crochet, and the sides are going to increase by 2. So if you wanted to increase and make it a bigger gift box, your next row would have 9 stitches on each side, and then the one after that would have 11, the one after that would have 12, all the way until your box is the size that you're looking for. I did want to keep this video short and the box small, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the rest of the round, and then I will see you for row 6. Okay, so if you're still watching and you didn't just go ahead and skip to part 6, I like to do riddles when I don't have anything else to talk about. I've done it in previous videos and I always think it's fun. So here we go. I'm light as a feather, but even the strongest person in the world couldn't hold me for more than 5 minutes. What am I? For row 6, I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and then I'm going to add 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches before I put my stitch marker into that 5th single crochet. I'm doing that so that the spiral doesn't start on a side piece, it starts in a corner, and it'll be easier to hide any irregularities. I'm just going to put my stitch marker back, and then from here on out we are only working into the back loop. In a pattern this would be called BLO, or back loop only. So we're going to point the hook at the center of the V, pick up the loop that's the furthest away from us, and then finish the single crochet as normal. We're going to put 1 single crochet into every single stitch around. There are no more corners we're adding, and this is going to start slanting everything up. Now you don't have to work into the back loop only if you're not comfortable with it. That is just to add that bottom edge or make it more noticeable. Your square is still going to form a cube whether or not you work into the back loop. Working into the back loop is solely for cosmetic reasons, but it's not a functional reason outside of it may make it a little bit more sturdy, but if your stitches are tight enough, it's not something you're going to have to worry about. But that is it for the verbal instructions for row 6. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I am monitoring them as of right now. I have noticed that as the account has grown, which is phenomenal, I'm super grateful, I am having a harder time keeping up with comments. So usually what I'll do is go through all the comments of a video whenever it pops up, and I'm noticing that some of them are just not even popping up in my notifications. So I'm not intentionally ignoring anybody. I try to answer all the questions as much as I can. So don't think that no one reads your questions. I've also noticed that there's been other crocheters, a lot of helpful crocheters, who will answer your questions if I can't get to them first. So don't feel like you're alone with crochet. It's a very loving community as long as you stay away from drama people, but I think they exist in every niche of creators and artists. But this platform, in my experience, this account has been very helpful, and there hasn't been any drama, and you can think of it as your safe space. I might be pushing it a little bit there, but I haven't had to delete any comments, if that makes sense. I haven't had to block anybody. Everyone's been respectful and kind, and honestly, that is probably the biggest reason I'm still doing this, is because it's been such a positive outlet in my life. And the best part is that I'm hearing from other people that it's been a positive outlet in their life. But before I forget, I do want to give you the answer to the riddle from the last video, and it is your breath. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you didn't finish the last video, and it was just a little funsy. But yeah, I'll see you in row 7. We're gonna work a decrease, just one, So if you haven't done that before, it'll be a good practice. And be sure to like and follow if you haven't already. Before we move on to row 7, I just want to show you how to measure the size of your gift box. So we're measuring from one front loop to the front loop of the opposite side. This time it's close to 2 inches. So when we're working on the height, we want to get to about the same height there. If you want it bigger than that, just go back to part 6. We are going to start the next round with a decrease. So I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop. Insert my hook into the second stitch, pull up another loop, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. After that decrease stitch, we are going to put 1 single crochet into each of the next 8 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. After the 8th single crochet, we are going to skip the next stitch, and then we're going to add 1 single crochet into each of the next 9 stitches. After the 9th single crochet, we are just going to skip that 3rd corner stitch. Then we're going to add 9 single crochet along the 3rd side, then skip the 4th corner stitch, add 9 single crochet along the 4th side, and then that's it. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the rest of the round. If you have any questions or suggestions on how I can make my videos better, you can leave them in the comments. And if you enjoy these close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. If you want to see what the bottom of the box is going to look like at the end of this round, I am going to slow it back down to normal speed just so you can compare your project to this project. For row 9 and every single row after this, we are going to put 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way around until we have the height that we're looking for. You can put aside the stitch marker now, you don't really need it anymore. Just make sure that when you do finish, that you finish on any of the 4 corners. I like to try and finish on the same corner that we had our decrease on, just because it helps ensure that every side is the same height. But I don't know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But that's it for now. I will see you in part 10, and at that point we'll have the entire height, and I'll show you how to finish it off, and after that we just have to make the lid, and then we're done. And like always, if you enjoy these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow for more. And here we are at the end. This is what it'll look like when you get all the way to the top. I did shape the corners. They didn't just magically have the edges, but you can just shape those with your fingers to make them. It's not difficult at all. But if yours looks a little round right now, just shape it up and we're good to go. But now we're just going to use our measuring tape to make sure everything's the same size. So here we are again. We're going to measure from one front loop to the next front loop, and we're just under 2 inches. And then we're going to look at the height. And again, we're from the front loop down there up until the top, just under 2 inches. We could probably squeeze in another row if we wanted to, but the lid's going to give it a little bit of height too. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I wanted this part to be its own video because I think it's kind of cool, but I'm going to leave a somewhat a long tail, and that's just to make sure I can weave it into my yarn needle, but I'm not adding a slip stitch or anything to level it off. But this is how you make an invisible join. So essentially, I'm going to leave the stitch exactly how it is, thread my yarn needle, and then I'm going to skip the first stitch and work into the second stitch like I would insert my crochet hook. So we're going to skip that one and work into the second one, push it all the way through, and then I guess I could speed this up, but no, we're going to take it slow. Then I'm going to pull it tight so that it looks like the front loop of a regular stitch, and then I'm going to go in between my last stitch and push it from the center to the back. And now I'm going to adjust my strands so that they look like a regular stitch top. And then from here we're going to work through the back loop of the stitch that we skipped. Not like that, but like this. And then we're just going to hide our tail in the stitches, meaning we're going to take our yarn needle through the back of stitches so that we can trim off the excess. I don't really like showing this on camera because it is so tight and I like to have it closer to my chest. And when I'm filming, I have to kind of keep it at arm's length, and it just makes it difficult for me to hide the tails properly. Next, we are going to work on the lid, but before we do, I'm not going to start this one from scratch because the base of it is the same as the base of the present. The only difference is that we are adding one more row of increases or round of increases before working into the back loop. So if you'd like to go back and rewatch those videos, I think we're taking off right after part 6. So to add another row of increases, we are going to single crochet once into the next 4 stitches, and we're going to continue to use our stitch marker for that first stitch. And from there we'll do 3 single crochet and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 9 stitches. And this is going to be our 3rd, and then the 4th, maybe. There we go. And then we're going to add 3 single crochet into the next stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 9 stitches. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're just going to repeat that all the way back until the stitch marker. So it'll be 3 single crochet in each corner and then 9 single crochet along each side. And from here, I'll just go ahead and speed up the rest of the video, and I'll see you in the next part. Now for this next round, we're going to take out the stitch marker, and then we're going to single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches until we get to that first corner, and then we are going to work 1 single crochet into every single stitch using the back loop only. This is the same as it was in an earlier part, so I'm going to go ahead and speed through the rest of the video because the longer the rounds get, the longer the video is, and I like to keep them short. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you enjoy these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. I feel weird saying this all the time, but it does make a difference for some reason. So I'll see you in part 14. Now that we're done working into the back loop only, we are going to remove the stitch marker and work a decrease in the first stitch. So yarn over and pull up a loop, insert your hook into the second stitch, yarn up and pull up another loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And then we're going to single crochet into each of the next 10 stitches, and then we are going to single crochet into each of the next 11 stitches, skip the corner, then single crochet into each of the next 11 stitches again, skip the 4th corner, and then single crochet all the way around from here on out. Now we are only adding one more round of regular single crochet after this one. I do have part 15 on that one, but that's essentially it of the present. If you want to check out the other video just to see what it looks like, please do. It really helps me out. But if not, this is pretty much the gist of the instructions. I'm trying to get the PDF ready. I have the pumpkin PDF on my website already, and I really kind of proud of it, and it's a blog post. So you can get the written instructions as a blog post for free, or you can purchase the PDF version in my shop. All of this is still very much a learning curve for me. I do want to point out that as much as I'm a very ambitious person, and I get inspired easily, so as much as I want to spend every waking moment on this, I do have 2 children. And right now they're just a priority, especially while they're still little. I mean, my oldest is 6, but the older he gets, the more I realize that I have a limited amount of time with our 2, almost 3-year-old now. So once she starts school, it should be easier and I should be able to do more. But right now, this is just been such an incredible outlet, and I'm so grateful. I really am. And I just wanted to say thank you because I'm feeling sentimental. Thank you for making this so much fun. So, but I'll see you in part 15. Oh my goodness. And that's it. I just added one more row of single crochet, like I said in the last part, and I'm just going to put it on top of the box, make sure it fits, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and follow for more crochet tutorials, and I'll be making the stocking next.